Hello, my beautiful people. How are you? We are going live on this app. How's everyone doing? Hello, hello. Okay. Hello. Hi. Hello, hello. How are you all doing? I'm excited. This is I think the second live I've done. And today I'm talking about creating yourself as the dream woman, becoming the dream woman. Now, I want you to think about conscious creation. Think about who you are or who you are being every day. I want you to imagine and think about your current circumstances and everything that you're going through right now. And if you have a question, if you're watching, please feel free to ask me. So the topic is becoming your dream woman. Now, when you first start understanding manifesting and conscious creation, most of us react to our 3D and we are reacting to our current circumstances, whatever they may be, whatever you're experiencing. That means the way people are showing up and whatever you're going through finances, love, work, health, and you stay in that cycle. The thing is to become the dream ideal version of you is you have to interrupt the pattern. And that first starts in the mind. At some point, you have to say, okay, I'm done reacting to what is, to what I'm seeing, to what I'm experiencing in the 3D. And in my mind, I have to get very, very clear on if I lived and operated as the dream version of me, as the woman who gets everything she wants, who would I be? And this is the magic, or this is where the magic happens, is that you want to create an identity, a new persona, a new avatar. There's different ways. This is all self-concept work when it comes to manifesting and conscious creation. This is 100%. Hi, Isa. Hello, hello. If you have a question for me, ask me. I will be answering, and I'm going to try to go live more, especially here on YouTube. So this is all self-concept work. And when I work with my clients and when I work with people and even with myself, when I am in a very low self concept, not feeling good about myself, and my internal conversations and internal dialogues are about, I don't feel good enough, I'm insecure, people are talking about me, people don't like me, then I'm operating from that very insecure place. And the key is every day we want to elevate and anchor in a version of us who has a very high self concept, who loves themselves, who believes in their worth and value. And then that is what the 3D reflects back to you. That is always, always how it works. It always starts with you creating from within. Whatever you believe and assume about yourself, whatever you're telling yourself, whatever things in your mind that you're creating, you're pushing that out. And the 3D is reflecting it back to you. That's always the way it works. You were the creator. When you understand this, you will stop reacting to the 3D, to whatever shows up in your reality. And you will say, okay, why did I align with this? Why did this show up in my life? What am I believing? What am I telling myself about this? And what would I prefer? Here's the key, asking ourselves, okay, if I could create the ideal situation, if I could get what I wanted, what would I prefer? How would I be treated? How would I feel about myself? And then you take yourself to the trigger, what we don't want to what we do want. That's the shift. And it's something we practice over and over and over until we anchor that in. Conscious creation to me, the biggest thing is whatever you're believing and assuming about yourself, whatever identity, whatever image you have about yourself in your mind is what you're going to push out. And your relationships are going to reflect it. The money you make, the circumstances in your life where you're living, the car you're driving, because whatever you believe you're worthy of is what you're going to get. You get what you tolerate, you get what you accept. And when you believe you're worthy of more, then you start expecting more, believing more, trusting for more. And it's like magic. It starts to show up in your life. You're always a creator of your reality. So, becoming your dream woman, right? Have you ever sat down, and you can tell me in the comments, I want you to answer this question. Have you ever sat down and gotten clear on if I had my ideal life, if I could wave a wand right now and give you exactly what you wanted, or if you could, because you're your guru and you are your guide and you are the powerful one, if you could wave a wand right now and get exactly what you wanted, the way you want it, who would you be? Describe yourself. I want you to think and get very clear on who that version of you is, looks wise, confidence wise, relationship wise, money. Where would you be living? What kind of car would you be driving? Get very clear because most people stay in the what is and they don't shift and place their energy into what they want, into what they prefer. And the key in everything is focusing on what you want to create. Who would you be if you were that version of you? And then every day when you face something in life, you ask yourself, okay, am I operating and believing from the highest version of me, from this very confident version of me, from the version of me who gets everything she wants? Or am I operating from an insecure version of me? So if you're chasing a man, if you're looking for the 3D for external validation, if you are waiting for somebody to call you, to text you so you could feel good about yourself, you're externalizing and giving your power away and externalizing your sense of worth and value. And your sense of worth and value comes from within. When you understand that, when you're clear about that, when you give it to yourself, anything that you're looking for anyone to give you outside yourself, you have to first give to yourself. And when you do, the 3D will reflect it. And I always tell people, listen, if you're chasing a boyfriend, an SP, someone to love you, someone loves you, how about you love yourself more? Let me fix my hair. It's a little puffy. How about you love yourself more? How about you put yourself first? How about you choose yourself? And when you place yourself in that place of self-love, self-worth, I promise you, the people in your life will reflect it. And it's as easy, as simple as you reaffirming and believing something new about yourself. So I always say when we're working on self-concept, you get very clear on who would you be if you were the ideal version of yourself and you had everything you wanted. And then you started affirming and doing techniques around this version of you. That includes mirror work, that includes visualizations, that includes um, subliminals at night, that includes scripting, that includes everything and anything that will help anchor in this elevated version of you. So, if you're watching, I want you to tell me if there's a situation in your life you want to change right now and to ask yourself, who am I being? Who am I being right now? What am I accepting? What am I tolerating? And is this coming from a high self concept or a low self concept? You're the creator of your reality. And whatever meaning you're attaching to the story, you're creating more of. So the key is to shift as the ideal woman, as the person who loves himself, as the person who chooses himself, as the person who validates themselves, who approves of themselves. You don't search it in things or people outside of you. You don't react to things outside of you, and you know that life is always supporting you. And you have some core beliefs, core frequency beliefs that life is always supporting you. Everything always works in your favor, no matter what the 3D is showing you. I have this core belief about myself, and I say it no matter what the 3D, because we don't know what's happening. Movement is always happening. And so I'm always reminding myself, this is going to work in my favor. This is going to work in my favor. Why? Because everything always works in my favor. And I always get everything I want. I always get everything I want. I always get everything I want. And life is always supporting me. Life always works out for me. And I just stay in that energy and I remind myself. And if I'm dysregulated, if I'm triggered, instead of reacting, I soothe myself. Okay, I'm dysregulated right now. What can I do to put myself and take myself to a state where I feel better, where I'm calm, where I'm trusting myself, I'm believing in myself, where I put myself first? What can I do? Whether it's a nap, whether it's meditation, positive audio or videos. And then I ask myself, okay, as the highest version of me, because I'm very clear on who she is, she's not an insecure girl. She's not looking for validation outside herself. My phone's, let me turn the ringer off. And then I just operate from that place. And then that's how you elevate. And you do that over and over and shift. And it's a muscle you exercise. You get better at it the more you practice it. Thank you for your content. I went from being a waitress to being approached to take the position of an office. Awesome. Awesome. Lorado, office manager, because he believed in me as much as it's exactly it. The 3D is always going to reflect you. If you believe in yourself and you trust yourself and you know that you can do something, you don't need people to tell you. You believe some way, somehow, it's going to work out for me. The 3D will reflect it back to you. And listen, anytime we're growing and elevating, it can be scary. And Anytime we're doing things outside our comfort zone, and we should, because you're always expanding, right? You're always expanding. Anytime you may feel those triggers, those old fears, but then you remind yourself, "No, I got this. I've been through worse. I've been through more challenging times, and it has always worked out for me, and it has always worked out in my favor. I just have to trust and believe that I'm supported now." And when you believe and operate from that place, from an elevated self concept that you know your worth and value, you know you're capable, you trust yourself. Listen, I'm going to tell you, and I've been saying this, and I learned this. I wish I would have learned this when I was younger, but I'm telling you this now. Write this down, tattoo it on your forehead. In your life, you are the utmost authority on you. You get to decide who you are, not other people outside of you, not your mom, not your dad, not culture, not society. You don't have to accept and adopt beliefs that don't serve you, limiting beliefs. You're whole, you're complete, you're worthy, you're deserving. Validate yourself. And from your elevated place of empowerment, you're able to be an example to others so they can live and operate as the highest expression of themselves. When you step into your power and stop giving your power away, so people tell you you're worthy or you're valuable, or you're looking for a man to call you or text you, when you know he's going to call me, he's going to text me. Why wouldn't he? And you, not in an arrogant place, but in a place where you know who you are and you love yourself and you become the love of your own life, it transforms everything. It is a game changer. That doesn't mean you still won't be triggered by outside circumstances. It means that when you are, you know how to self talk yourself into, I know who I am. I love myself. I believe myself. And life is always working out for me. Life is always working out for me. And everything always works out in my favor. So, in this life, and you get this one life, don't waste it. You are the utmost authority on you. You get to decide who you are. And every minute of every moment of the day, ask yourself, who am I being? Who am I being? Am I being an insecure, needy version of me, or am I being the version of myself? I promise you, you guys, your relationships will reflect it back to you. It will. It absolutely will. And know that life is always supporting you. It's always working in your favor. And open yourself up to the belief that things will show up in your life in ways that you can't even imagine. Life is always supporting you. Source, God, the universe, divine intelligence, you're connected to God, that God within you. And instead of imagining worst case scenarios, take yourself to, well, what if everything works out? What if everything works out in your favor? What if you get everything you want? What if? What if? And start taking yourself to there, to those places. It'll change everything. Everything starts, yes, law of assumption, Rachel. That's law of assumption 101. Whatever we decide, whoever we decide we are, we are. Whoever we decide we are, we are. You get to say who you are. And when you finally commit 100% to this law, the thing is that most of us committing to the law of assumption is to believe without evidence. But when you trust and know that change is always happening, it's always working in your favor, and whatever you're creating in your mind, you're pushing out, and the echo will be shown to you. So if you get something that you don't like, again, you can tell yourself, this is the echo. Circumstances don't matter. And I just have to create something new in my mind and it will be reflected back to you. Law of assumption changed my life. I hope you know this. Law of assumption, man, I wouldn't be teaching this and talking about this. It changed my life. It 100% changed my life. If you only knew. Yes, act as if. I hear that all the time. Thank you. Yeah, act as if. Act as if and anchor that version of you in. Trust, believe it, know. And put yourself on that pedestal. Listen, I was a single broke mom at the age of 21 with no money, no job, on welfare. Compared to who I am now, and I didn't know, most of us practice law of attraction techniques unknowingly. I did, certainly. That, when I was going back to college and grad school, I was like, well, it's going to work out. I just trusted and things always aligned. And I plan, but I'm always instinctual. I make decisions more on intuition and instinct. And I didn't realize that was just going to my inner guidance. And then law of attraction teachers started coming in. I remember Wayne Dyer, but I was raised by a very religious mother. And so I always thought that son cosas del diablo. Those are things from I speak fluent Spanish. Those are things from the devil. But then when I finally opened myself up to it, I'm like, oh, it's just conscious creation. And then the teacher started coming. I started believing. And somewhere in my late 30s and 40s, law of assumption came. And I had a low, I mean, I could manifest, fix my hair here. I could manifest, but it was when I got into law of assumption and I thought, oh, I get to decide who I am. That was the game changer for me. Law of assumption. And then I started understanding all the other spiritual laws, which really support each other. And it's some people like law of attraction, law of assumption, law of resonance. To me, it's just same roads to different roads to the same outcome. That's what I'm trying to say. But yes, act as if. Yes. Oh, wow. Good for you. Yeah. And now, if I told you I have a dream life, I don't talk about it a lot on social media. If you follow me, I have this, I make this amount of money, but I have an incredible life. I want for nothing. I'm very blessed in every area. Highly educated, successful careers. I was a broadcast journalist and now I'm doing this and I've manifested this. I have a great husband. We travel. And it all stems from believing that, yes, I'm worthy of everything. And it comes in ways that you can't even imagine. Don't limit yourself because I find that, like I used to, I thought that, well, my wealth and abundance could only come through I work hard and I get money. But if you open yourself up to money comes in unexpected ways, abundant, I'm abundant in every way. Because abundance is not just money. Abundance is health, it's friendships, it's love, it's peace, it's calmness, it's opportunities, it's beautiful sunsets, and it's an abundance of the things you love that enrich your life. So then you can be abundant. And when you're overflowing, you're a blessing to others. We uplift from our place of empowerment. We're able to uplift others, right? By example. So, that was the game changer for me. And we're always expanding. We're always growing. I'm believing new. I'm believing big things for this that I'm doing now. And yeah, life is always working out for me. That's where I operate from. That life is always working out for me. Life is getting better and better, better and better. And the better it gets, the better it gets. I mean, I know it's a lot of cliches with manifesting, but they're cliches for a reason because they work and they're true. And yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. I really appreciate you, Rachel, and thank you for watching. And I'm going to start doing more lives because I'm able to reach out to people and teach more a little bit about this. So I was talking about becoming your dream woman because you already are the dream woman. She exists within you. I want you to get clear on who she would be and the lifestyle she would have and how she would feel about herself and how she would operate and how she would handle situations. And then every day, believe that you are her as if being and having you manifest not what you want, what you are. So every day you affirm and you do techniques around, I already am this version of me. She already exists. If I could tap into her. And the more you do, you'll see how things align for you outside of you, but also within the confidence, the certainty, the security, the support, the love, the friendships. You don't have to chase anything. Things will align and conform to support you, and they always do. You've heard of Murphy's Law. Well, to me, law of assumption is the opposite, like Murphy's Law, but in a positive, like spiral up. Instead of the worst that can happen is going to happen, I always think about it different. The opposite. The best that can happen will happen because I only get the best of everything and things are always working in my favor. And whatever I need to know shows up. The teachers show up, the support shows up, the friendships, the love, the money, and there's no need to worry. There's no need to worry. I'm working out at the gym and saw you are live. Yes, I claim it. Yes, Rachel, I'm glad you're working out. I love to work out. It's what can go wrong will go wrong. Yes, what can go wrong will go wrong. Well, what if we thought about it through the opposite lens? What if we imagine that what can go right goes right? That everything that can go right goes right. It's going to go right. And because everything that happens is meant to support you and to serve you, and Bashar teaches this, Abraham Hicks, they all do, it's the meaning we attach to things. So if you attach a positive meaning to everything, even if I don't ever want to go through this again or I want to go in this direction, it's going to serve me, it's going to benefit me, it's going to work in my favor. Life is always supporting me. So I get to attach a great meaning that this is working out in my favor because everything always works out in my favor and I always get everything I want. Listen, I have some core mantras that I live and operate from. I always get everything I want. Everything always works out in my favor. Life is always supporting me. The right people show up. I am loved, I'm supported, and I operate from those core beliefs. everything is always working out in my favor. And I gotta anchor that in. And whenever I feel dysregulated, because I'm human and we do, right? I just soothe myself, deep breathing, working out. Working out's a great nervous system regulator because you're releasing those endorphins, right? Those feel good hormones. Walking, take a nap. There's been times if I don't get my 8 hours, I mean, I find myself not triggered, but I'm punchy and I get dysregulated more easily. So I take a nap sometimes, even if it's a 15-minute power nap, and I'm like, okay, I'm refreshed. And then I go to bed early. And then I'm thinking, "Hey, this is going to work itself out. The people are going to come, the answers are going to come. What I'm looking for shows up. I'm going to love myself because life loves me because I'm an expression of source energy. And any desires that you have in your heart, you're meant to have. Believe them. Allow. I wish one of the things that, I coach a lot of people. And one of the things that I have to convince them of is that they're worthy of getting what they want. It's almost as if anytime you're elevating, they and I used to too. And I have to watch this for myself is okay, am I worthy of having this? Am I worthy of having this? Can I believe? Can I trust? Can I allow? Give yourself permission to believe that you're worthy of having the desires of your heart because you are. You are. You are. Believe that if you have a desire for that business, the relationship, the love, the luxury, the lifestyle, the looks, you're meant to have it. Believe it and then trust that it's all going to work out in your favor because life is always working out in your favor. And you anchor that in every day. And that's it. Rinse, repeat. That's it. That's law of assumption, manifesting. I think if I could teach the biggest lessons that I've learned, and I'm a powerful creator. Let me just tell you, I'm a powerful creator. I get everything I want. I do. If I could just tell you everything, regulating your nervous system and then shifting back into what is it that I do want, taking my energy of what I don't want, trying to get as neutral or release that. And then, when something comes up that triggers me, um, and I ask myself, okay, what am I feeling? Not good enough, not worthy. I'm not loved. I'm not supported. Someone doesn't like me. And it reminds me of, the little girl. If you've ever been bullied, if you've ever been excluded, it triggers those feelings of rejection and abandonment, which are horrible. And none of us like to feel, right? I just remind myself that I love myself. I choose me and I'm chosen and I'm supported and the right people show up. All right. You're asking me a question. Hi, Ezra. What if you're having a hard time defining what your ideal reality looks like? Like, I can easily imagine what rich me is like, although I find imagining a perfect marriage, husband, me, a wife hard. Okay. All right. You don't have to have all the answers right now, Ezra. First of all, I want you to stop saying things are hard. Take that if it's not a block, but your words have power because your words carry energy. It's like you're casting spells and saying, "Yes, universe, make this harder for me." So, it's a challenge, it's a shift. Let's soften the language. It's not hard. We're just going to look at it from a different perspective. You may not have all the answers right now, but can we look at it differently? What are you clear about? Let's focus on what you are. You want a relationship. You don't have to figure exactly how, but you want to feel loved. You want a partner who supports you, someone you feel safe with. You want to be in love. So let's go general. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just know what is the next right step for me? What feels good? And then follow your passion, your happiness, your joy, and visualize around that. And your visualize doesn't have to be, listen, I can visualize. My visualize doesn't have to be specific. I don't have to have every detail. But I can visualize in general. When I want something, I can imagine myself, okay, I know I'm in this city. Let's say I want to travel to a location. I know I'm in this city. I've never been there. How would I know what it looks like? I've seen pictures, I've seen people talk about it. So just imagine myself there like I'm walking and I assume the feeling of having, the joy of having, the relief, the freedom, the security, all of those things, which I'm sure you have felt before. Logic, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Yes, in our human logical mind. But I want to tell you this, we are guided not by logical human laws, but by spiritual universal laws. When you finally understand that you're a spiritual being having a human experience, because you're so much more than what you can touch and see and hear. We're our souls, we're energy. And so when you understand that you're a spiritual being, then you can understand that we are guided by spiritual laws. not by logic. And in our human thinking, you can only fathom point A to point B. I did a video on this a while back, and I'll talk about this again. Um, I'll talk about this again. So back when I was still working, I was a TV news anchor for years. And back then, because this is how I was raised with my mom, and hard work equals money and how you get things. And you have to work hard. Like money can only come through struggle and toil. Abundance and wealth can only come through toil and hard work. And so working hard, working hard. But is it true for everybody? Because I want you all to think there's a lot of people who work hard, but are they wealthy? Are they abundant? And then there's people who don't work hard and that things come easily. And we all know people like that, who people who seem to get everything they want. So I thought I drove Max Nissans for a long time. And I always wanted a Mercedes. But in my mind, I thought, well, when I was first getting into law of attraction and manifesting, so I cut a picture of a Mercedes because I didn't know even the model. I just knew I wanted a Mercedes because to me it was a status symbol, right? When you first start manifesting, you're like money and cars and the house and all those things. And so I cut a picture and I had it on my refrigerator. And it took 2 years because I thought working, saving, I can afford it. That in my logical mind, that was the only way I could get something. And I did. I bought a pre owned, used Mercedes that I bought, put a down payment down, and I had to make car payments. But it was the basic model, entry level for Mercedes coupe. But it was beautiful and I loved it. And I was so happy. And I'm like, I did it. Took 2 years. Fast forward to now. I've had several luxury cars, new cars that were bought for me as gifts from my wonderful husband. And they came through me, not through hard work. It was through, hey, pick out a car. And I picked out this. He goes, why don't you get something better? Get this, get that. I've had numerous luxury cars where someone comes in. And granted, I married into that. But if you open yourself up, you never know how things will come into your life. Allow yourself. And that's where you have to apply a little disbelief. You can still have your logical mind, of course, but then, okay, I'm going to allow and trust that money comes in expected and unexpected ways. Yes, manifesting relationships. Logic's blocking me. Yes, I hear it has to happen in the spiritual before the. Yep, me too. Has always been easy for me. It's imagining them healthy and harmonious. I have yet to accomplish. Okay, all right. Here's a big shift, Ezra. Take your attention off the relationship. Make it about self-concept. Because here's the big what I learned. I used to just manifesting for the car, manifesting for the relationship. But if I haven't changed who I am at the core, if I have not changed the concept I have of myself, who I believe I am in a relationship, in love, my concept of self, when that love comes in, I'm going to repeat and have a pattern of relationships, which is all self concept. And I get that. How do you change the relationship? By changing you. The concept you have of yourself, it's all self concept work. So I would make it 80% your techniques and affirming about you. Who are you being? You are only in healthy relationships. You love yourself. You put yourself first. You only have healthy relationships. You're always treated well. You're safe in relationships. You love yourself. The most important relationship you're ever going to have is the one you have with yourself. And how you treat yourself and what you believe and assume about yourself, people will reflect back to you, especially in love. You know what I script simple sentences, and you could do it in first person or third person. I, Patty, am in healthy relationships. All my relationships are safe and secure. It is safe to be me. It is safe to be who I am. I love myself, therefore people love me. I'm always supported. I have amazing relationships. I'm safe. And then I affirm 20% for my SP. He treats me this way. He loves me. He supports me. He takes care of me. He's generous. He's kind. He's safe. We are so in love. We have the most juiciest, loving relationship. Relationships are easy. Which is the one that has you stumped, Ezra? I'm extremely level in my family. Okay. Which is the one that has you stumped? Yes, I did. Yes, I got what I wanted. Okay. That's what in the middle of. Okay. What is it that has you stumped? I find myself perfect husband, me as a wife hard, finding magic perfect. Well, what is it? Get clear on what the perfect husband or wife. I don't know if it doesn't matter. You're manifesting a specific partner, husband, wife, whatever it is. It's the same thing. Um, Imagine what it's like to have a safe relationship, figuring out what belief is causing assumptions leading to conflict and resolutions. Well, what is it you're feeling? What feelings do you have around conflict? What is it you ask yourself, what am I feeling? What story are you running in your head? I'm not good enough. I'm not loved. I'm not supported. I'm mistreated. I'm not a priority. I don't feel safe. What are the feelings that you're feeling? That'll help you clarify exactly what limiting belief you have attached to this, and you can flip that easily. Easily, okay, Wednesday, 9 to 2 or um, okay. Someone asked me a question. I'm getting texted. Okay, figuring out what is causing it. So just, what is the conflict? What are you believing around the conflict? What are what you're feeling? And so this is how I do it. Whenever I have any conflict in any of my relationships, I ask myself, what am I believing about myself? What limiting belief? That I'm not important, and that one was a big one for me a couple of years back when I was first getting into law of assumption was I didn't realize that I lacked self-love and a sense of worth. I was always looking for my partner to fill that void because I wasn't giving myself the love and the worth. I was looking for other people to validate me and then not feeling important and not feeling like I mattered. And so the big one was self-love and self-worth. When I understood that, I started meditating. I started with meditations, but any of your techniques should be around self-love, self-worth. And I don't know if this is for you, but if you don't feel loved or like you're worthy or like you're going to lose them, you're insecure in your relationship. I mean, you got to figure out what's causing that conflict. What's causing that conflict in your relationship. And so for me, it was love and worth. When I first got into law of assumption, I didn't feel worthy and loved or chosen, that I was first best, that I was a priority. And so all my affirming and techniques were about that until I reprogrammed my subconscious mind. They fizzled out. It no longer shows up. I come first. I'm always first. I'm a priority. I'm important. I matter. I choose me. I do what's good for me. I love myself. And I no longer look for love or value or worth or approval outside of me because I know who I am. And you're worthy because you exist. That is inherent. You're an extension of God, the universe, source energy, the God within you. And so you don't have to prove your love or your worth or your value to anybody. It exists within you. Once we understand that and we program that in, and it already exists, it's releasing the limiting beliefs that were programmed into us from children and life and somebody, growing up. And then we operate repeating those patterns and those cycles. It's just a belief and a pattern. Um, Success is your birthright. That's right. Success, abundance, wealth. Claim it. Not being listened to and understood. Okay. Okay. So him believing his perspective is always the right one. It feels hard to submit to someone okay, who, there's a heart there, who are arrogant and one here. Okay. So those are all limiting beliefs. Look at what that paragraph you wrote, Ezra. And I want you to flip all those beliefs. I am listened to. I am heard. I am valued. I am appreciated. My relationship is safe. I am always a priority. I am the beliefs that would be the opposite or counter this current situation, because the more we anchor in that story of not being listened to and understood, then we push that out and it's going to be reflected back to us. So we interrupt the pattern. Okay, it happened. Let me start working on my self concept. What I believe about myself. And if you're having this in your love relationships, you probably have it in other areas. Are there areas in your life where people aren't listening, you don't feel understood, people steamroll over you? So that was a big one for me. And to me, it was I'm important and I matter. It is safe to be me. I feel heard. I feel seen. I feel heard. No, I am seen and I am heard and I have safe relationships. It is safe to be me. I am valued. It's not difficult. It's just you have that belief. It's that belief. And all you have to do is just flip the belief and start anchoring it in. Change it within yourself. And I promise you, your love will reflect it. They will reflect it back to you. I did it with my own relationship. That's what got me into this. It works. You can do it. You can absolutely do it. 100% you can do it. Just start No, don't dissect yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're whole and you're complete. There's nothing wrong with you. You just it's this is a lot simpler. We make it harder in our mind. It's a lot simpler. And whatever anyone says, they're just reflecting deep core beliefs, maybe some inner child healing. Do some inner child healing. The little kid inside you who doesn't feel loved or heard or valued, love them. Some inner child meditations where you release. I have a cutting cord meditation, and it usually brings up a parent who told us we weren't worthy or dismissed our feelings when we were children. When you cut that cord, it allows you that freedom to step into the powerful version of you. But don't hate yourself. You're whole and you're complete and you're worthy. And start affirming right now, I'm loved. I'm loved. Change that story. I'm loved. I'm chosen. I'm valued. I'm worthy. I have safe love relationships. It is safe to be me. 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 It is safe to be who I am. Ah, thanks, Jean. Listen, I'm a big Kim Bellis fan. Kim has, if Kim, she teaches, and she used to be a therapist, and so I would defer to her. She has some incredible inner child healing. She has some incredible inner child healing classes, courses. If you can, get in with her. It will transform your life and allow you to release a lot of the limiting beliefs that we don't even realize we have from childhood. And she's excellent at it. I've gone through her courses and I did some training with her, but she can teach it. I don't, that's not my wheelhouse, but if you need to do some inner child healing, I don't think you need to. I think you can release. But for some of us who we find harder to let go of that feeling, she has an incredible course. Go and you need to do it because it'll change your life. Life changing. I listen to him and she's phenomenal. Her inner child healing courses and work is phenomenal. So and when I start to waver, let's see, and affirmations. If I feel I'm reacting to something that does not serve me, I say my favorite umbrella affirmation. Everything. Yes, yes, Micah. Everything works on my interest. Everything works on your interest. That's right. And say it in your voice. However you talk to yourself, it's not the words. When people say, repeat this, I've seen this all over TikTok. When people say, repeat this phrase and everything will show up, it's not the words. It's you giving yourself permission. It's a permission slip that you're believing that, yes, it's like you're letting go of resistance. So anytime you're doing affirmation or a mantra or a belief or a scripting, do it in your voice because your subconscious mind is always listening and you're creating new neural pathways to absorb those new beliefs, to program those new beliefs. So yes, absolutely. I do the same thing. You're interrupting the pattern. This is going to work out in my favor. You're rampaging to yourself, stopping that negative pattern of self-talk. It's going to work out in my favor because everything always works out for me. I'm always supported. Life is always working out for me. I'm always supported and, so forth, so on. My client this morning was praising me for how confident and authentic I am. You are confident and authentic. She said she felt starstruck because she admires me. This is a common experience. Yes, then that's who you are, Ezra. If you're confident and authentic in one area, then give yourself permission to believe you can have it in every area. Because you are that version of you. You already are. And there it's being reflected back to you. That version of you already exists and you're getting that shown to you. So just be like, I am going to create this in my relationship because I'm worthy of it. It is a belief. That's all it is. Make it easy. We are loved, we're chosen. That's right. I love Kim too. You ladies are both so awesome. Thank you. I'm from the school of Kim Bellis. I learned from her. So, there's a lot of good teachers, but her inner child healing is really, really good. I recommend it. And like I said, she has that background in therapy and it's her wheelhouse. So I highly recommend if you get a chance, if you feel like it's really hard for you and old stuff from your childhood's coming up, I would do one of her classes. You don't need it. Some people feel like they do. It's all up to you. You decide. And it'll help you cut the cords with a mom or a dad or a sister or anyone, any programming that we had from our childhood where we've carried that pattern. And it's just anchored in. I've been able to release things with a decision. And then there's some things that, this keeps showing up. God damn it. Here it is again. But listen, I'm going to tell you, just because something shows up doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. Old patterns show up because now we get to operate from a new version of us. I get to handle this from the more elevated version of me who has a higher self-concept, who loves herself. So I can handle it differently. And how do you know you've shifted? Because you're handling it from a different place. You're handling it from the more empowered version of you. You don't react. You don't care. You're like, this is old. And that's when it fizzles out. That's when you know, like, boom, I got this. It doesn't shake you the way it used to. So I've been saying, even this is even yes, everything, Ezra, everything's always working out for you. Somehow this is making our marriage it is making your marriage stronger, Ezra. It is. Hence the hot and cold. No, no. Yes, it's making your marriage stronger because first and foremost, you have awareness. You're here. You and I don't believe in coincidences. The fact that you tuned in right now when I'm live and I'm reflecting this back to you, it's a reminder that you're moving in the right direction. Don't take anything as coincidence. Everything is a reflection of your consciousness. So if I showed up reminding you that you're doing nothing wrong, that you're already authentic and confident and secure and chosen, that you can have everything you want, then you already know within you that you are this version. So how can I release these old limiting beliefs that no longer serve me? You can do a cutting cord and say, I'm no longer this, do subconscious mind reprogramming, and everything's always working out for you. And for your husband, start imagining them as you want to imagine them. I had to, with my own husband, who I love dearly, and he had a very strong personality. And I can understand because that is what got me into law of assumption. I'm telling you, Ezra, I understand. I had to imagine him how I wanted to experience him. I script him. His first name treats me well, adores me, supports me, puts me first, always chooses me, is so kind, is so loving. We're in a safe relationship. I love my marriage. It's simple sentences. Script, it'll take you 30 seconds, a minute. Just do script every day. If you're at work and doodling, start writing out sentences. Ezra, I'm in the juiciest marriage. My husband makes me feel safe. He loves and adores me. And watch. Send me an email, message me how he's going to show up. It's like magic. It's like no, it is. You're sending and you're creating a holy contract with the universe that this is how they're going to show up. And I promise you, it's like something happens and you create it in the now, in the powerful present now, and that's how they show up. I've done this with my son, with my husband, with friends, with situations. And in like this, it flips and shows up the way I wanted to. I want you to try this technique. I used to not be a big scripter. And here's another teacher, Kate Manifestation Coach, shot out. And she was a big scripter and taught me this technique, like writing a letter to yourself. And now I have another friend I have a lot of friends who teach this, and I love talking about this. And so I script simple sentences. Patty is this, Patty is that, or I am. And then I script the people I love, how I want to experience them, how I want to imagine them. And I start letting go of that old story. That's old versions of me. And eventually you'll get to a very neutral and different place about the old versions of him. And you will experience your husband as someone who loves you and adores you, is safe, always supports you, puts you first, builds you up, encourages you. And you have the most amazing marriage. And people are telling you, wow, you have an amazing marriage. I want a marriage like yours. I envy your marriage. Do you have 100 days of scripting challenge? Because I always used to say scripting, it works, and scripting doesn't feel good. It's so aligned for me. It does work, Ezra. The fact that I'm here reminding you, okay, and scripting doesn't have to be, scripting works. I'm telling you, it works. I used to be like you. And do it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. Here, hold on, you guys. Let me get my scripting journal. This is my journal. It's just a simple notebook. I write a couple of sentences. So I was struggling with health. I had some health issues. And I didn't realize that I was anchoring every time I traveled, and we travel a lot. I always came back sick. And then my travel medicine case was getting even bigger and bigger. And it was Kim who told me, you are preparing to be sick. Fuck that. Shift into I'm healthy. Imagine yourself on your travels healthy. You're healthy. I've been doing all my techniques, my sleep tracks, my meditation, my constant self-talk is I'm healthy. It's on its way out. I'm so healthy. I'm in the best shape of my life. Whatever, I turned 51. So I'm always like, I'm getting younger, hotter, richer, so all about this. So, and my sleep. So I'm always, like I did today, Patty sleeps. I sleep amazingly. I always get a good night's sleep. I wake up refreshed in the morning. I'm so happy that I feel good when I sleep. I sleep easily. And, that's the thing. My son, his name is William. William is brilliant. William is healthy. William takes care of his physical health. However I want to experience my son, I do it for my husband. It can be 4 or 5 sentences, just a simple sentence of how I would describe my son if I was talking about them to someone else. It fucking works. Excuse my F bomb. I don't know if we're allowed to cuss. It works. I promise you it works. Yeah, it works. I made a list of all the qualities I want in a man, and that's my there you go. It works. I'm on day 3. Yeah. So, and make it easy. Ezra is in a beautiful marriage. Ezra loves his marriage. And start imagining yourself on your 50-year wedding anniversary. Where are you going to go on your 25-year? I want you to imagine how your 25-year wedding anniversary would be. I've started to do this with my husband. You go to the wish fulfilled. We've been married 25 years. How would I feel? Take yourself to the wish fulfilled of having and being exactly what you want, and then trusting that it's already done. It all exists and it's yours. Yeah, I hope that helps. You're chosen, your value, you all are worthy. Love yourself. Everything stems from us. And really, once we understand that it's all little ships, make it easy, make it so easy. And you're worthy of getting everything you want, worthy of getting everything you want, including the relationships. And especially in relationships in love, imagine them as you want to experience them. Imagine them capable, succeeding, loving, patient, kind. And then imagine yourself experiencing them that way in situations. Saturday morning is making breakfast with the love of your life. Um, your honeymoon, if you're looking for an SP and you want to get married, start imagining your honeymoon, what you would be doing, how you would be feeling, and take yourself there as much as you can in imagination. And the techniques just support that. All techniques work. You just have to find the ones that work for you. And I promise you they all work. And then self-talk. Your self-talk reflects the highest version of you, the version of you, fixing my hair, the version of you who gets everything they want. Because you always get everything you want. Everyone here watching today gets everything they want. There's magic within you. Step into your power. I believe it. Believe it for yourselves. So I want to thank you all for joining me. I'm going to let you all go if you have one last question, and then I'm going to go, and then I'm going to put this video up. I'm going to put it, if you don't mind that I put this video up. It is so powerful, especially when we come together like this, and I realize that it elevates all of us. So thank you all so much. And if you have a question, one last question, I'll answer it. If not, I'm going to go ahead and send us off. But I want to just thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one. Make sure you're following me and subscribing and liking, and thank you. And if you have any questions for me, put it in the comments. I do read all the comments. You can email me, but put it in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Love you all.